Oh yeah, of course, that's because I've got my if statement here. Let's just set that to 1 equals 1 so it doesn't return this error. So we've got init.php. Okay, so that gives oh no, of course, sorry, we can't do it this way. The reason being is this will return the current file where this is essentially defined, and the problem here is that we're doing this is within init.php. So we need to take a slightly different approach. There's no problem at all. We'll always come across things like this. So we're going to use the server variable set instead, and we're going to say script underscore name. So make sure that's in capitals. So what's this going to look like? Well, let's go ahead and just preview this, and it's got lr/recover.php. So this is what we need, recover.php, which is the file that we're currently on, but we don't need this lr bit here. So how do we sort this out? Well, we can use explode around this, which will essentially take the first parameter will be the delimiter, so that'll be a / because we want to explode this, turn it into an array. Now you'll see that we echo out the keyword array, which is not what we want. But if I go ahead and down here say print underscore r current file, you'll see that we've got 2 elements to this. Sorry, 3 elements to this. The first one is blank, and then we've got lr, and then we've got the last one is recover.php. Now this is the key bit of information that we need. So what we do here is we use end. There we go. An end will take the last element in an array and it will return it in its in a string form. So now if we go ahead and echo current file, this is just recover.php. Now we've got this warning up here. Let's just go ahead and find out why that might be. I think this might be because we've got this on 2 lines. So let's just go ahead and cut this and say current file is equal to there, and we'll say current file equals end current file. Let's just try that. There we go, that's gone. Don't ask me. Okay, so we've got now the current file name. So in here, well, what do we want to do? We want to only redirect the user to changepassword.php if the current file isn't changepassword.php and the current file isn't logout.php. So if current underscore file doesn't equal or isn't equal to changepassword.php and current file doesn't equal logout.php and user data, so this user data thing here, we need to grab this field from our database, which is password underscore recover. So if user data password underscore recover is equal to 1. So if the file isn't changepassword.php, isn't logout.php, and the password recover flag has been set to 1, force the user to change their password. So let's check how this works out. Let me just go over to my email, make sure I've got this new password copied. I'm going to go ahead and now log in. In fact, let me log in as Alex first, just to show that it's working. I can navigate my way around, blah blah blah. So I'll log out, I'll log in as Billy. Log in, and we're automatically redirected to the change password page. Now this isn't very user friendly, but it's demonstrating this concept. You can go ahead and add in little messages or anything like that, perhaps a little sort of force or something at the end of that. In fact, let's go ahead and do that because that's quite interesting. Let's just go ahead and add on here force, and then I'm going to open up change password. Now let's scroll down and we'll say here, so here we're looking for this success thing on the end. Now I'm going to say else if something, do something, else do something else. So else if, same as this. In fact, I want this to be equal to true. and this equal to true. That's just it's not required, but just good practice to do this. So here I'm going to say force. Oh, in actual fact, this isn't going to bloody work, is it? Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of this. So else, I'm going to say if this. Now, the reason that wasn't going to work is because then it wouldn't show the form. So basically, we're just trying to display a little message here. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this to force. And I'll change this to force. And if you're completely lost here, which I can totally understand, I'll go ahead and explain this in a moment. So if we have this little force thing on the end, this little get value, or get parameter, or whatever you want to call it, and it's empty, then we can go ahead and say, you must change your password now that you've requested whatever, but I won't waste time wording it. So force on the end is now giving us this. When I click around, it's not letting me access any other bloody page, so that's good. Change password I can access, so I've clicked on that, and that force thing's gone now, but that's irrelevant because when we click around on, say, profile, settings, we can't do anything, but we can log out. Okay? So just to demonstrate, let me just go ahead and paste this password back in again. Just to demonstrate, if we didn't have in init.php this bit here, so for example checking that the current files log out, and we click log out, oh, it did work. Oh, of course we're not including init.php on logout, are we? Let's just go and check. No, we're not. Perfect. So we don't even need to do that. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Anyway, let's go ahead and crack on with this. So let's go ahead and get rid of some pages that we don't need. We don't need change password. We don't need init.php. In fact, we don't need these. All we need is to open the change password file, because now that we log in as, say, Billy, copy this and paste this in, we need to change our password. So once we've changed our password, we need to set this flag in our database here from 1 to 0. So how do we do that? Well, easy. What we need to do here is the change password function, we just need to modify to always set this value to 0. So let's go ahead and open up core functions users, and I promise this is the last bit. We'll just have a little summary after that. The change password function, if we scroll down, it says update users, set password equals password where user ID equals user ID. I'm going to say and I keep forgetting what the field name's called. That's probably not a good thing. Password underscore recover equals 0. So now when we go ahead and change our password, so current password is our generated password. Copy that in. New password I'm just going to set to password. New password again I'm just going to say password. Change password. Password's been changed. I can now... Oh, I can't. That's interesting. Let's just go ahead and check here. Yeah, that's still set to 1. Password underscore recover. Oh, sorry. Okay, I've completely malformed the query. So update user, set password equals password, comma, password underscore recover equals 0. That's it. I accidentally had the and keyword in there. So our password is still this because that query failed. So let's go ahead and copy this and paste this in here. And I'm going to change my password to plain text string password. Click change password. Current password is incorrect. Okay, so let's just go over to our users. Here we go. Look at that. Password equals 0. Okay, so we've really messed this one up, haven't we? Okay, so let's just revert this back to password, and we'll start from the beginning. So I'm converting this to MD5, so it's now this. So let's start from the beginning. I'll go ahead and log out. I'll enter my email address, recover. Okay, so now, starting again, we have changed the password to our temporary password, and we've set password recover to 1. Now when we check our email, we have our generated password. Copy that. We log in with this new password, and we're forced to change. So now our current password is that. Password, so my new password, change password, done. Now let's double check that this has worked. So let's click browse. So now this has been changed back again to password. You see it matches this one, which means that, well, I know for a fact this one's password, so this now must be password. And the password recover flag is set to 0. So now I can go ahead and access all of the bits and bobs that I might need to. Okay, so that's been really long, but it's we've gone through that process. If you're confused, essentially all we're doing is just updating different values, flagging things, and then checking them when we log in. But have a look at the code if you've written it down, and you know, this isn't too hard to understand.